Let's go. Welcome to Paul Jacobs Empowerment, and I got a new episode and new guest where we try to motivate the youth, empower everybody, and try to make everybody successful. And I got ZWA with me today, and I appreciate you for coming by. How you been during quarantine?
I mean, I've been only quarantined out here for about 4 months now. So
What was it like you coming out to the world of you just seeing everything like this? What was that like?
I mean, it was, to be honest, it was pretty, like, it was shocking.
Shocking?
It's not something that you would expect. Like, I just came from, being locked down and stuff, you know what I mean? And coming back out and everything shut down. So it's like, it's really crazy.
If you don't mind me asking, how long was you locked down for?
I was actually gone for 5 this time.
5?
Yeah.
So, and I was actually told from a friend of mine that it was kind of thing where it was throughout your whole teen life, you didn't really get a chance to experience you being a teenager. And I kind of wanted to ask, going through that, what was your mind like when you was missing out those opportunities or just missing out life? Because not a lot of niggas know when they take these risks or take these chances in these streets that if you get caught up or something happens to you, then all of that passed by. And for somebody to actually experience that, what was that like?
I mean, it was pretty crazy to me, you know what I mean? Because, like, my first time, I went up, I did 3.
If you don't mind me asking, for what?
It was a long story, just being out there with the wild stuff in the streets, man, kind of caught up to me, so.
And how old were you?
At the time, I was 15.
15?
Yeah.
So you was just fresh off the porch?
You could say that. I was off for about a couple years, but... Yeah.
But so
yeah, you could say that.
Now, I mean, for you being in that environment, like, where you from? Like,
well, I'm from Southside Delray. I'm from Second Ave, you know what I mean? And my environment, it was pretty crazy. It's, the typical hood shit, man.
Was it crazy as a kid, or when you look at it now, it was crazy?
I mean, during the time, I wasn't really thinking about it being crazy at the time, I mean, but
you was just kind of living through it?
Right. But now, looking back at it, it was actually wild a little bit,
What do you think when kind of coming from a background of when you say Southside Delray, just in these type of poor environments, what do you think caused us to kind of, us young black men to kind of go out and make these mistakes? 'Cause a lot of times we don't have somebody telling us right from wrong.
I can't really say I didn't have anybody to tell me right from wrong, because I did have, my parents, they always used to try to guide me, but, it's the environment, dog. Like, whatever you're around, that's...
Is it the environment, or do you think it's the love of money? When we see niggas in nice cars with the golds, with hoes, and you see niggas pimping, you see niggas selling drugs, you see niggas robbing, do you think because where we come from, that's all we see, that's kind of all we get a chance to know, and we just like...
Yeah, that plays a big part of it, too.
Because, I don't know, shit like that is just kind of crazy. When you look back, it's like, damn, a lot of these dudes who actually get wrapped up or get locked up for these situations, it's just not even like, it's just a young person's fault, because what else do we know? What else do we see? Right. And in that environment, it sucks because it seems crazy, but as a kid, we make the most with what we have. We fight, we bully, we fuck around, and then you learn other shit, and it just kind of coming from that environment. And to me, it just sucks because when you hear somebody who like actually gets locked up or, loses time for that, and it's like, you feel for that person, but all these other dudes you see doing it and they don't get caught, it's like, you're not saying you're waiting for it to happen to them, but it's like, why do you think people are still in that cycle, even though the punishment, even though we know the consequences that we could face?
At the end of the day, I feel like it's all in the moment for everybody. I mean, 'cause to be honest, dog,
when you say in the moment, what was your, where was your head at in that moment during that time?
I mean, at that moment, my head really wasn't on, doing prison time, but
well, that's because we don't know. That's what comes with it.
Yeah, because I was just worried about getting it, and just doing me, living, surviving. That's all my mind was on. I never thought that I would end up in prison until it actually did happen.
And when you say living and surviving, when you were actually, I wouldn't say doing your thing, but when you were just out there trying to make a living for yourself, did you actually feel like you were living, or because you were doing all those things, you could die any day?
I mean, you know, it's like
Because to be honest, I tell people all the time, it's like kill or be killed out here. Even if you're selling, even if you're robbing, even if you're just doing your thing, for whatever reason, people tend to hate. They tend to envy. They see you with that type of success. And it's like, not only you got to avoid troll, but then you got to avoid the niggas, which is sometimes your peoples, but you just got to avoid almost everybody.
right.
And I don't know, I feel like it's just hard. It's a hard thing to put on us as black men because I want everybody changed. Well, I want everybody to change. I want to motivate people, but it's just like there's certain types of financial information that we don't have or we don't really get a chance to see because of the environments that we come from, and all we really get a chance to see is like the drug dealers, the robbers, and it just fucks up the whole youth. And it's just crazy. Like, and you say you did 3 years the first time and then 5 years the second time?
Right.
So that was 8 years.
8 years.
And how old are you now?
Right now I'm 24. I'm about to turn 25 in a couple of days.
Damn. So do you feel like now that you are missing out anything, or you finally get a chance to live and do you?
I mean, I missed out on a lot. I mean, and it's a lot that I could have done with myself, but
Do you think it matters, or?
it matters because I probably would have been way further in life than I am now. You know, right now.
You think so?
Yeah, I know I could have been. You know what I mean? Because as a child, you know, I used to get good grades in school and stuff. Like when I fell with a 3.5 GPA. So
you wasn't even failing in school.
Nah, I wasn't failing in school. I was doing my thing in school, but you know, I had my life outside of school. Like,
So was it the life outside of school that made you kind of just say fuck school, and it was kind of something that was catching up to you?
right, you know, like after a while, you know, it just becomes like this thing. Like, you know, I'm out here. It's like I gotta choose what I'm finna do. You know what I mean? It's either I'm finna dedicate my time to this, you know what I mean, and try to get it, try to, you know what I mean, get myself together and get right, or I'm just finna be over here in school and, you know, wasting the time that I could be doing this. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't worth it. You know what I mean, the time being missed out, nah, it wasn't worth it.
But for somebody who had a 3.5 GPA and still kind of in both worlds, what made you just say fuck it? Like, why? I'm not saying why, but you didn't really see yourself doing anything in school that you wanted to achieve, or like wanted to get, or like, you know, a blue collar job?
I mean, nah. To be honest, nah. At the moment, nah. Not really.
And was it that lifestyle that you was fascinated by that made that, or was it just you kind of didn't know and school wasn't really doing anything, it wasn't helping you, but it was just?
I'll say it's kind of both. I mean, because I was in love with the lifestyle. You know what I mean,
The hoes,
the money, you know, all that. So it's like school, that wasn't really my interest. But, you know, I'll go to school and do what I have to do. And
would you go to school because of your niggas was at school, or?
To be honest, nah, I really don't, you know, because my people used to always stay on me about being in school and graduating and stuff, you know what I mean, and getting something
Do you think that made it worse? Because they were like, you got to go to school. You know, being Haitian,
Right.
They always tell us you got to be a doctor, you got to be a lawyer, you got to do this, you got to do that. Do you think that kind of just made you say, fuck it, I'm not finna do none of that, I'm going to just do my own shit, because all of that money is finna come way later. I need money now.
I mean, not really. Not really, because, I mean, I used to take advice from them. I mean, and staying in school for as long as I did was part of that was because of them, you know what I mean? Because, you know, I listened to them. I go to school when I need to go to school. I do what I had to do. But then again, you know, I got to do what I got to do to make it, you know what I mean, out here. So, you know, I just fell into the streets head first, like, you know, from then on, it was just whatever.
How long did you go to school before did you drop out, or?
I mean, I dropped out because, you know, all that, like dealing with
What year was that, freshman year, sophomore year?
that was like my sophomore year.
Sophomore year?
Yeah.
Damn, so you was already balling that sophomore year, you was just already doing your thing, and...
I mean, balling, I'm not gonna say all that, you know what I mean?
But what makes a kid kind of just say, fuck the education? Because I'm not saying education is bad, but it takes a lot for somebody to go out into the world only as being a sophomore and junior. Not to say school prepares us for life, because I don't think it does. But I think, you know, being outside more, it's kind of riskier. And you know, like for people who actually get a chance to do that, because I'm not going to lie, me going to school, I had good grades. I had all of that. I was fine and stuff. But there was times I wanted to drop out. There was times I wanted to say fuck it. There was times I just wanted to. But for whatever reason, I just ain't do it. I kind of wanted to graduate for my people, but even then, I felt like I wasted time.
I mean, I feel like if I didn't get locked up and all that, I feel like I would have graduated just for my people, you know, because that's something they always used to tell me to do. You know what I mean, and I would have done it for them, but you know, situations happen. You know, ended up behind the fences. So,
and every time with those situations, was it just you trying to improve your way of living, or was it something else? Was it like kind of something we kind of get into and then we just stay in that cycle and never try to get out?
It was kind of both with me, you know, because I did like, even though I was out there doing what I was doing, you know what I mean, my people used to do what they can, you know what I mean. My dad, I seen, bro, you know, bust his ass, work a double, you know, try to provide for us, you know what I mean. But
how did that make you feel seeing all of that?
I mean, that shit was hard on me. I'm not gonna lie, cause you know, it's certain things that as a child, you know, you be wanting, like, you know, especially when you see like
certain gifts and shit around Christmas, holidays and shit.
Right. I never had no Christmas. I never had no birthdays. I don't know. I never had none of that. So I really don't know how that feels. I mean, so bitch, I just made up my mind, you know, to just get out here and do
it for yourself.
Yeah, do it for me. You know what I mean?
And you had to put that power into yourself and make it happen.
Right.
Do you think if somebody kind of came up to you with like, I would say financial information, or like trying to start your own business or trying to do stocks or any little, I wouldn't say silly, but you know, different ways to make money, would you have been open to trying it? Or?
Yeah, I definitely would have.
And that's the thing. I think it's kind of hard on us because, like I said, I don't think we get that type of. It's hard. I don't think. It's like even then when you see OGs, you see people who doing it when they don't even really want to give game back. They don't even want to even share anything, and it's kind of hard because when you're young, you just want to put that power into yourself. You want to help your peoples. You want to do this. You want to do that. But now a lot of times you don't really have somebody telling you that you could start a business or you could do stocks or you could, you know, just run any little thing. And it's crazy because you see little girls selling lemonade and shit. But it's like when you think about it, it may be silly, but it's like it's low-key a business. She's low-key just managing herself and doing things, right, learning how to put in that work. So it's just, I don't know, it's just hard. I feel like it's hard on us. And, you know, coming from that environment, it's just crazy, you know, just overall. I wanted to say, when did you get into music? Was that something you've been involved with your whole life, or was that something you kind of started being locked up?
I mean, music been a part of me since I was younger. You know, like when I was around 10 years old, I joined a church choir. So it was like. So
you used to sing and stuff?
Yeah. You know, I can't really sing, but I used to do what I could do, you know what I mean? But,
now, actually hearing your music now, I kind of hear like a melody and a cadence, and I was wondering because, you know, like I told you, I thought your music, just not even knowing who you were, I'm just seeing you, I'm thinking your music was fun to be, you know, rah, rah, loud shit, but it's just like, nah, this guy's actually making music. He actually has a voice. He actually, you know, it's not even, and I'm like, damn, he probably had a background, but it's like crazy to know that you actually started at a church.
Yeah.
And ever since then, you was just obsessed with it?
I mean, what really got me into like recording music was really Boosie, you know what I mean? Boosie? Growing up listening to Boosie, you know, and he became like motivation for me, you know what I mean? Because I seen
Smoking on Purple.
Right, right.
All them Boosie cuts. I love Boosie.
Yeah, and he could really, like, he a person that I feel like I really related to at the moment, you know what I mean? Because he was out there, and I mean, he kind of had a similar background to what I was going through, you know what I mean? And I really felt him, and I felt his music, you know what I mean? So that really, like, made me strive to, like, get in the booth and really do what I had to do with that.
Is that something you try to do now when you make music? You trying to have your people feel what you, like, feel the pain that you went through, right, understand what you was going through, and relay
right,
that message?
Right. That's exactly what I'm really writing music for now, you know? Because I really feel like I have something to tell, you know? I got a story. I mean, shit, it'll probably get to certain people, you know what I mean, a different type of way, you know what I mean?
Certain people get it, certain people don't.
Right. But I really like, I'd rather give a biz motivation, you know, to just do what they, you know what I mean, what they can or what they want to, you know what I mean? Don't be wasting your time just doing all that other unnecessary shit, you know what I mean?
Is the music something that you actually want to do, or is that something you that's to take up the money? Is there like any other stuff you want to do besides music? Is that something that you love, that's something you actually want to do and dedicate your life to.
Yeah, that music is what I want to do right now. That's what I've been wanting to do, music. But I just never really got the chance to, going through what I was going through. But now I'm out, so I feel like I might as well just go at it. And make something out of it. Shit.
And actually, somebody told me that when you first got out, you actually did a show with Zaytoveen, and you was like doing shows. How was that like, jumping out and actually first making music and being able to perform?
The thing with Zay, it was kind of crazy.
Did you not expect that? Because Zaytoveen's one of the best producers out there. He got a lot of hits with almost damn near everybody in the game. So coming out, did that shock you, or did that kind of make you feel like you're super talented and you're kind of on the right path?
It definitely which is, it made me realize that I'm really on like a better path now. And I need to stick to it.
Was it scary doing that performance?
I ain't gonna lie,
because you was, like you said, you were locked up for 8 years, and now you got out. Your homeboys trying to support you, that's what I was told. They said they try to put you in the booth and out here, wanting to see you do all of that.
Right.
Did that kind of give you the energy to just do everything? And it's just like,
right, and seeing people behind me, people that really, mess with me and fuck with me and really got love for me, like, behind me, that really, like, it give me that boost.
But how do you know if somebody really got love for you, though?
It'll show. It's a big difference from somebody verbally telling you that they got love for you and somebody showing you that they really got love for you. If somebody got love for you, it ain't nothing they wouldn't do for you. And that's about my people. That's how I feel like they.
And they're like, and do you feel like they're actually 100% devoted into your dreams and what you want to do as the whole team?
For the most part, I say some of them. I'm not gonna lie. It's
but
some of them.
That's how it is. But just having that support, it makes you feel good.
Yeah, it definitely made me feel good. It does something else to me.
I don't know. I'm really excited for you to, it's crazy because I'm glad for all you went through, and to actually see you get a chance to put yourselves out there. That's one thing I see a lot of people when they touch down and come home, they just end up destroying themselves and end up repeating the process. And how do you kind of avoid that and keep your work in the music? Is it the support? Is it your family? Is it you knowing you don't want to go back to the pen? Like, what makes you keep going every day?
Every day. It's like, when you think back, dog, it's like, do I really want to be in that situation again? Do I want to be in that cell again? Eating all that bullshit I was just eating. Do I want to do this again? And it's not something that I would want to do, but at the end of the day, anything is possible, But that route is definitely not a route that I see myself going through again. Of me trying to put myself in a position to end up back in that,
Do you feel like it was something you needed, or because that time already passed by, or it just happened to you?
Shit.
Because a lot of times, some people say that when you go to jail, it could make you a bitch, or you end up becoming a different person. You end up learning. You end up
right. It's. I'm not gonna lie. Prison is just like, it's a big world of
So you went to prison, not jail.
Like, yeah.
And what's the difference?
Jail really, like, you could only do up like to a year in jail. But that's if they sentence you, like, to jail time. But prison, that's where you do that time, man.
And it's with the grown man. It's for everybody who done did.
Right.
And what was that like? Actually, your first day in there, like, being aware that you had a couple of years. Was it something you kind of got used to, or was there a couple of things you had to learn because you were so young?
Being that while I was out on the streets, I used to hang around older dudes, so it's certain things that I already knew about that side, But my first day in there, like, it was just crazy. I just everything had to really hit me. And it hit really fast now.
When you say it was crazy, what kind of hit you in that moment? Was it the time, or was it the lifestyle? The lifestyle that you used to have that's now destroyed, and you got to be in this for a couple of years?
It was really the time, really, because I wasn't worried about the lifestyle. Like, it was
something you was already used to.
Yeah, and I know that type of stuff came with it. So it's like when it happened, I mean, I was already prepared for it, but I really wasn't like prepared for like the prison time. Like, but when I really got situated like up the road and stuff, and you know, then it just became like whatever. You know what I mean? I got to do this time, so I'm finna do this time. You know what I mean?
What were you doing day to day to keep your head up? Because a lot of people could just give up, and a lot of people, you know, probably end up, you know, getting into fights and getting hurt. What kind of keep you going every single day to know you're going to come out and make a name for yourself and come out and try to be something? Because that time is wasted, but it's also about the time you get back when you're actually out.
Right. See, when you win that, man, it's all up to you what you do, dog. You know, you got people who just go in there and waste time. Like, you know, even though you're doing time, I mean, you ain't got to waste that time. You know what I mean? Don't let the shit just go by and you not learn nothing from it, or you're not doing anything with yourself. You know what I mean?
Were you reading? Were you, like, what were some of the things you actually was doing in the past by?
I was definitely reading.
What were some of the books you read?
I read, dog, I really can't.
Was it a lot of
The
books?
names of the books, I really can't tell you because I was
Art
just
of
going
War?
through books. I read Art of War. You know, I read 48 Laws.
Really?
Yeah, I read that one by 50 Cent too.
Oh,
I forgot
yeah.
the name of that.
He did have a self-titled book about himself in his...
Right. I was reading like a lot of, you know, just a lot of shit that really get my mind together. Know what I mean?
And were you ever reading in school or no?
Yeah, in school, my first bid, I got my GED.
Oh,
You know, like
congrats,
that was
good
something-
shit.
Thank you. You know, that was something that I really felt like, you know, while I'm here, I might as well get this. I mean, I ain't finna get the chance to graduate, so I might as well just get this and try to do something with my time, you know. And doing that and doing the time at the same time, it was kind of crazy because the same way that I was on the streets, that's the same way I was in there. Like, I had to really choose because, you know, every day you got, you know, I was at a YO camp when I first went up because I was like 16, 17 around the time.
And a YO camp, what does that mean? I'm sorry.
YO it's a youth offender camp.
Oh,
I
so
mean,
that's
so
where they put you.
Right, they separate you from the like adults.
Oh, okay.
You know, but now it's all together. But back then, around like 2012, 13, it was separated. I mean, like they put the youths on one side and the adults on the other side. And being in there with them, you know, it was it's just a whole bunch of knuckleheads in that bitch. So you got to be a knucklehead with them.
You was just fighting and like
it's slinging knives. So it's like,
I actually heard somebody tell me the other day that they be selling spice in jail.
yeah.
I don't know how the fuck that shit work. Like,
You know,
do
that
niggas?
shit, that
Because I know
crazy.
back in the day, spice was something that if you smoke, you know, if it'll fuck you up. Niggas be like, don't smoke spice. But then when somebody told me they had to sell spice in jail to make money, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this shit right here. It's more than spice. You know what I mean?
It was just damn near everything.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And did you kind of expect that going in, or you kind of didn't even know? You just
I mean, going at my first time, I really I didn't know none of that. I mean, like, I knew that them boys could get this shit in here to, like, you know, to pass their time, but the way that it was fluctuating, I wasn't expecting that at all.
And what's the most important thing that you said is even then when you get locked up, you got to choose. Because even in jail, they still have the fuck shit where niggas could be dealers, niggas could be this, niggas could be that. So isn't there consequences if you get caught and don't you end up doing more time, or how does that work?
It depends. You can. I mean, it depends on really what you get caught up with. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of crazy because somebody who would be obsessed with that lifestyle, obsessed with making money, even though you separate them from one environment, to see stuff like that kind of going on, it's like the fuckery is still going on. And even when you get caught, you could just add time, and then that person's life is just wasted.
Yeah, at all. But for them, I mean, I understand. I mean, because
It was like a hustler's mentality type of thing?
I mean, you got to survive one way or another. You know what I mean? Because the shit that you get in there, you don't want that shit. I mean, so whatever you could do, you know what I mean, to scratch up a little money, that's what you're going to do. And I really salute most of them boys for that shit, you know what I mean? Because even though that you really risking doing more time in here, you know, you still finding a way to survive. Like, you still not losing that sight. Like,
And why do people do that? You said it's to survive. Is that because nobody want to eat the meals that they provide and you get canteen and shit, or?
yeah, sometimes it be that, you know what I mean? But then again, you know, when you fall, when you get in that jam, it's like people that you used to fuck with on the outs, like, you know, they just go ghost on you, like, you know, they don't really support you.
Did anybody go ghost on you while you was in there?
I mean,
Because I know you got a
really.
strong supporting cast, but was there anybody that still kind of disappeared within that time?
Yeah, it's a lot of people that went ghost, not me, but the people that really matters, you know, they stuck around. I mean,
And are those the same people around you now?
right.
That's good.
And it's a couple of them that's not. I mean, because you know some of them just not on the type of. I mean, they mind just not on the level mine is right now. You know, and I feel like they not serving them ain't really beneficial to what I got going on and what I want to do. I mean, and shit, I fuck with you. I mean, I got love for you, but at the end of the day, like I gotta do what I gotta do and try to. I mean, just live a better life, like.
And when you was reading those books in jail, do you think it kind of elevated your state of mind to how you should be thinking, or was it just to pass by time in jail? Like,
I mean,
it didn't really apply.
It really elevated my mind a little bit. I mean,
Because you say you read 48 Laws of Power, Art of War. You probably read a whole bunch of books.
Yeah, I read a whole lot of books, bro. I used to read suspense books and all. And I mean, some of them I read to pass time, but some of them I read to actually
Gain something.
Yeah, I mean, and then it was a couple of adults around me. You know what I mean, I was trying to get me right. I mean, and get game to me.
And there was just telling you that's stuff you should do to try to avoid from the fuck shit.
Right.
Keep on.
Right.
I don't know. That shit crazy. It's just crazy because even then, like, it's the same books I try to tell people to read now when it's hard, because it's like, damn, I don't want somebody to just end up having to sit there because they in a place to be reading those type of books. Because, yeah, these jail dudes is reading it, but to be honest, I feel like those books is something we should all be reading to elevate the state of mind of a young black person, to learn how to use some of these tools, to learn how to benefit off of people, and learn. Because I don't know, it's like when you're in the streets, it's like as a dealer, if somebody was a dealer, it's like a business. And you kind of get that experience of networking, knowing people, how to manage certain situation. And it's just like, damn, if you kind of took your mind out of that and put it into a business, most of these dudes don't even realize they'll be killing the same exact way. And it's hard. What's some advice you kind of got for some people, going through it right now, and they kind of don't know what to do, and to try to help them to avoid from making those same mistakes to end up getting them banned? Like, what's your advice to the youth to kind of help them through these tough times? Because, right now it ain't easy for everybody.
Right. I mean, bruh, to be honest, man, they really just got to choose, like, what do you really want for yourself? You know what I mean? What do you want to do with yourself? Like, and I really don't advise for nobody to be doing anything crazy that's gonna lead you into into themselves, or in a grave somewhere, bro. Because that shit, it really ain't worth it at the end of the day.
But if you kind of wanted to do music, your whole life, what kind of hindered you from doing it back then, as far as you doing it now?
Shit, back then, like, I was doing it, even though I was in the streets. Like, I was still doing music. And, yeah, like, when I come from school. We had the 505,
the teen center,
right? Like, I used to go to the 505 like every day, and I would record, and just go in there past time, but again, I was just my main focus was just really in the streets, so that's why I was most of the time.
If there's something you want to kind of tell somebody who's kind of in the streets, who got 1 foot in and 1 foot out, or kind of don't really know what they're doing, they just kind of sticking around, like, what could you tell them to be like, to actually, like, I wouldn't say remove them from that mindset because it's hard, but what's some game that you could give to them if somebody's kind of 1 foot in and like 1 foot out and they don't know what to do?
I mean, for a person who is really indecisive on what you want to do, bro, it's not for you. Just stay out of it completely, bro. Because you can't be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You got to choose, because being 1 foot in, 1 foot out, that's where most of the mistakes come from. Because you trying to do one thing, but then again, you out here doing another thing, and sooner or later it's gonna clash. Like, so you really got to choose what you really want to do, dog, because that ain't gonna work.
And as far as just letting people know, I just kind of want everybody to be better every day, try to motivate, and try to, even though, because we all got hard times going on right now. I I done lost 2 of my dogs. My homeboy mom just passed last weekend. And, you know, shit is hard. But, you know, I kind of just want everybody, you know, to realize everybody got their own problems. Everybody got shit they dealing with. A motherfucker who go to school could have a whole bunch of college debt. May not be dealing with the same shit you dealing with, but we are fighting battles. We are fighting demons and shit. And it's kind of a way to, you know, when you hear your story and you see all these young dudes thinking it's fun, thinking it's cool to do all of that shit, they don't really know what it's how it's gonna be, how it's gonna get down when you actually got to serve that time, when you can't fold, when you can't say, you got to take all of that up for yourself. You got to take up your responsibilities and just own it. And, you know, I don't think a lot of niggas ready for that accountability, because if there was, I don't think half of them would be doing that shit, because to go through what you went through, 8 years, missing most of your teens, it's like, is it worth it? This shit.
It really ain't. I mean, it ain't.
And that's the thing. Like, I just wish, you know, a lot of people would be able to do other things. I don't know. Like, if somebody's just uncomfortable with, like, being in the streets, that's okay, bro. Go start a business. Go be a photographer. Go do music. Go do something. Don't be scared to fail, whatever you're doing. I think people are just more so being scared of doing certain shit and being afraid to fail. And I think it kind of goes with having a fear of rejection and people being scared of what they want to do, because motherfuckers gonna tell them no.
Yeah, and bro, don't, man, for you dudes that's out there, you know what I mean, in the streets, man, and doing what you're doing because you feel like a bitch won't accept you if you're not doing that, bro, don't do that, bro. Because at the end of the day, bro, a motherfucker won't give a shit about you, bro. A bitch wouldn't give a fuck if you end up in them jail cells, bro. A bitch won't care if you end up dead, you know what I mean? Because at the time, you probably benefiting them in a way that they probably wouldn't do themselves if you wasn't around, I mean. So they pushing you to do something that you really don't want to do or you got no business doing, bro. But, I mean, because firsthand, I mean, it happened to me, I mean. Motherfuckers telling on me, I mean, it happened 2 times. So, and both times, I probably would have never really done no time if it was because of that. I mean, but it's just people around you. You really got to be careful with the people that's around you and people that you're doing shit with, dog. You know, it gets pretty crazy, you know.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate you for everything you done, you know, all the game you done gave and all the stories you done, you know, because it's hard, like I said, because I think people do it for a respect thing, it's for the love of money, respect whatever they chasing for, you know. I kind of, because there's a lot of people getting locked up for a whole bunch of fucked up situations, and it's hard to hear the talent when I actually heard the music, and it's like, damn, if you had 8 years of this, you probably would have been blue. You probably would have been, you know, been where you wanted to be. Yeah. And it's hard because we don't realize that, you know, from our upbringing, it's not even, those situations don't make us. We end up doing it and we end up making mistakes, but everybody make mistakes. Yeah. And I feel like everybody gets a chance to deserve that second chance. And if you don't end up wasting it. If you're out here, just do what you do, live your life, and be you, bro. Just be happy and do you. Is there any performances or any shows you got coming up? Is there anything you got planned for 2021 for the new year?
Shit, for 2021, I got a project coming out. I mean, it's coming out on the 26th of January. 26th? Yeah. Do you already have a name for it, or? It's called 2 Beers Later.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Yeah, 2 Beers Later, you know.
And is that kind of an experience from how you are 2 beers later, like?
Right. It's basically all my emotions, man. You know what I mean, how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Shit, as I was doing that time and how I'm feeling right now, you know, it's basically what it is. You know what I mean?
And last question, is that a way for you to cope with things now through music?
Right. You know, music helped me express myself, you know what I mean? But
how about talking to people? You don't think talking to people would...
I'm very anti, so I don't like talking to people at all. I hate talking to people.
I feel you. I mean, I feel like sometimes people don't like talking to people because motherfuckers don't really be listening. They don't really feel what you be going through. They don't really know. They're just listening, but they're not listening.
Right. That's one reason why I don't like talking to people. No, because I feel like they really wouldn't understand. So I feel like, why bother telling you, like, you know what I mean? Tell you what I'm going through. I mean, expressing myself to you, you know what I mean?
Nah, I love the music and keep it going. And, you know, hopefully I can have you come on again and not just to talk about your stories, but talk about all the success you come. And I hope you get a chance to achieve everything. And I hope people who get a chance to watch this understand that this man ended up, you know, losing most of his teenage years and, you know, based off of mistakes he made, not because that's who he was, but just because we were young and fascinated with a certain type of lifestyle that'll fuck us up in the long run. And even though he's out, he's a warrior, he's strong, fighting every day, same way how we is. And if you got your freedom, just do what you do. Live and just do you. If you got a money situation, then you got go out, figure out how to make some money. If you got family problems, go out, figure out some family problems. Just, I don't know, just don't go out there and, destroy your lives because, young black kings out here is hard. And it's hard being from that environment. And hopefully we can make a change. And hopefully, that shit will come full circle and we're able to bless our next generation and prepare them for the worst because, we live in every day. And it's a war.
Right.
And I appreciate you for coming on. Respect.
Oh, for sure.
Love.
Love.